Alright, so now we're at the General Site Settings tab. This is the first tab you're going to want to make changes to when you actually set up your squeeze page. So we're going to go through each of the settings here to make sure that we're on the right settings tab. Some of the tabs look a little bit similar. You're going to want to click on the one here in the left-hand side of the main setup menu. It says General Site Settings. That's where we're going to be at. So just confirm by clicking on that. Make sure that you're in the right spot. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up your login and your password for the admin area. Now, if you haven't done this yet, you want to make sure you do that. So this area here should not be blank. When you log in your squeeze page for the first time, since this is a hosted squeeze page, you just log in with no username and password. You're going to want to set this login and password for your squeeze page so that you can go in and make changes later on, and you don't have to worry about someone going in the back end and hacking your website. So definitely change this. First thing I do is don't use the word admin as far as your login name or your username, what people call that. That's usually a bad thing because a lot of people use those types of names. So you want to pick something that's a little more generic. In this scenario, we're going to go ahead and pick I'm going to pick my first name and then a series of 4 letters afterwards. So we're going to use George, and then I'm going to use 7788, right? And then a password. The best passwords you can put in are going to be lowercase letters, uppercase letters, numbers, and special characters. If you put a series of those, more than 5 or 6, then you're going to have a pretty strong password. Now, you can make it real simple, like the name of your dog, maybe the name of your street that you grew up on, your middle name, whatever you want. If it's something that you use on a regular basis, you can use that. But for this example, I'm going to create one that's a little more complex. So I'm going to use the name of my street that I grew up on, McLean, and we're going to go with 99, capital T, exclamation mark. And here's a real good tip for you guys, and this has saved my butt several times. Make sure that you write this down like on a sticky note, or write it down on a place where you keep some of your passwords. Maybe put it in a safe, put it in a safety deposit box, maybe put it someplace where you're not going to forget it. You can even write it underneath a desk drawer, in permanent marker or something without any reference to what it is. Those types of things are important because if you lose your username and password, it's going to be real hard, almost impossible to get back into these squeeze pages. So when you set that up, make sure that you do that, and it's going to protect this particular information that you have so that no one gets in there and hacks it or changes the stuff without your permission. And also, you can come back to it whether it's 3 hours from now, 3 days, or 3 years. It doesn't matter. All your stuff will be saved inside your squeeze page. So go ahead and set that up, and once we have that finished, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click the Save Settings button. So make sure you've written those passwords down before you do this. Hit Save Settings, and it will actually log us out, as you see right there. So we can't log in. If we try to log in with the blank username and password, you'll see it says password incorrect. So we got to go in here and type in our password and username we chose. Okay, and typing this in here. Should have probably picked an easier password for the demo, but I want to show you exactly what you can do with this. All right. So once you've logged in, it will always take you back to this main page, and that's the home link here. Click on General Site Settings, and now we're back into our Site Settings tab. The next section here is going to be your squeeze page URL. So wherever you've actually installed the squeeze page, that's where you're going to put in here. So if say your domain name is going to be dogtrainingtips.org, and you want the squeeze page to show up right on the front of dogtrainingtips.org, you'd put in here dogtrainingtips.org. For us, we're going to put in squeeze pages, and you want to make sure that you actually include the http :// whatever your domain name is, .com, and then make sure there's a trailing / here. That's very, very important. No matter what domain you put in there, you put that trailing /. So if it's dogtrainingtips.org, it would be a / after the .org. Okay, that's going to set up some linking structure in the back end that we're going to get to, or we do talk about in different videos to show you the power of the system. So making that general site setting is going to be really good. Now, if you install this on a subfolder, sometimes you might have a main blog on dogtrainingtips.org, but you might want to give away a secret ebook. So you might actually create a folder called Secret Ebook, which you would just type in here. Secret, maybe hyphen ebook, okay, or just simply ebook. Okay, and then you put the / after that if you're going to do that. Now, this particular squeeze page that we're demoing is going to be in a folder here called Test that I have, and we're going to call this one Style 1. So we actually have a subfolder inside of another subfolder. That's just for this one, and then I put that / after it. Of course, make sure that you spell it right, otherwise things won't work. STYLE. Okay. So obviously you don't have to be a rocket science to do this type of thing. All right, Once you get that done, we're going to move on to the actual metadata. Another cool feature about our squeeze page templates is we've given you the ability to get your squeeze pages actually ranked in Google. A lot of, or if not most, squeeze page programs out there, templates, software, whatever, they may give you the ability to put in some metadata, but they usually, like video squeeze pages or image-based squeeze pages, there's nothing for the Google, the big Google, to index. Therefore, it's not going to give you any special juice on your search engine ranking. So we've actually made it you're able to put in all your squeeze page title, keywords, and description for your entire website right here on this particular squeeze page, and that's what we're going to do right now. So a couple tips about putting in a good squeeze page title to get noticed. I always recommend that you do capital letters. In this particular one, we're going to go after list building and squeeze page template stuff. So we're going to go, let's see, we're going to use our keywords right in the very front, and we're going to go after list building as our main keyword. So let's see. Magic, this might be a little bit of a claim here, a little stretch. Magic list building templates that convert like crazy. Okay, I might actually want to use another thing in here by putting a pipe character. And I'll put squeeze page templates, so I have a second keyword in there. Okay, so now that I've got that done, we're going to go to our keyword section, and not in caps, so you want to take your caps lock off. You're going to put the actual keywords that you have on your web page. Make sure that they're congruent with your title, your description, and actually they exist on the page somewhere. That way Google can give you a good quality score. So I'm going to keep this in lowercase, and I'm just going to put list building. I'm going to put squeeze pages. I'm going to put squeeze page templates. Let me change that there. And you can put other things too in there that are related, like opt-in, as long as you're going to have it on the actual website. Again, don't put anything in these keyword tabs that are not actually existing on your website. Okay, so I'm just going to put a few in there. Then underneath your squeeze page description, what you're going to want to do there is do the same thing. Now you can put capital letters in your squeeze page description if you want. It'll really pop. Or you can just do standard letters. But I would definitely capitalize the first word of each phrase, or each first letter of each word that you put in here when you do this. So squeeze page description, you want to have a good strong call to action and make sure you use your keywords in there. So we've got, say, uncover the best squeeze page templates for list building, or better yet, I'm going to put building your list. Your list. Fast and easy to use. Okay, there we go. You can go further if you want to. It's just up to you how much information you want to put into the page description. Okay, the next section here we're going to do is we're going to be company name. Now this is going to be displayed site-wide throughout your entire website. So at the bottom in your copyright disclaimer for every page of your website, whether it's video pages or legal description, everything else, this is going to show up. So if you want to use the actual name of your domain name, and it's say dogtrainingtips.org, you'd put in, company name would be dogtrainingtips.org. If you have a parent company, like we have a corporation that we run that has all this stuff housed underneath it, we can actually just put that website. It could be, you can be like List Building Tools Inc., or it can be Dog Training Tips and Secrets Inc., something like that. Whatever you want to put there, that'll show up. Then you've got a copyright year. You can actually just put the copyright year, and this can be updated. So next year, you can change this to 2013 or 2014, whatever you want. You can always keep it up to date there. And then we've got the ability to change the squeeze page style. Now, what we thought about early on was we thought about actually creating a bunch of different templates so that you get into the back end and it just looks like a lot of stuff. But in essence, it's really just the same squeeze page template with just a couple little tweaks to the way it looks. And we thought that's pretty inefficient. So what we decided to do is make it easy so that you can go in and change the style anytime you want to, as well as split test against different styles. So this particular drop down, this is for your general site settings. This is going to be changing the style for all the pages except your landing page, except your home page, which we're going to get into a different style setting for that. So this would be on, say, for example, your thank you pages, your and it says right here, this style will be used on pages other than your home page. Example, your download page, thank you page, video pages, those types of things. So we're not going to be able to really see the style difference here, but you can go back later on once we check that, and you can make a change to this later on. So we're just going to set it for style 1 right now. And let's go to where it says use a header. This is also a general site setting. This header will be used on pages other than your home page. Again, your download page, thank you page, video page. For best results, make your logo exactly 100 pixels 1,000 pixels wide, and you can do that. You can set your logo to be whatever size. It should set up and center itself. But for this one, if you want to see what this looks like, I'm just going to make a quick change. I like to have everything perfect in there. We actually would house this inside of our setup area. Now we've created a sample header that we're going to get into in a second. So you can just leave this, whatever's in there, and it'll pop up for you if you want to turn it on or off. Right now we're going to leave it off. So we're going to go ahead and click the off radio button, and that will turn it on or off. And you can go back and change this anytime you want. It's really, really easy to do that. We're going to get into another setting here once we actually start setting up your squeeze page inside of this menu at the top where it says squeeze page setup, where you'll be able to see what the header actually looks like. But this is for your main page settings for all the entire site. This is like general site settings site-wide. So if you want to have a header on every page of your website, you can do that. I recommend that maybe you only use a header on the front or the first page if you choose to do that as well. So you can use your own custom header here. If you wanted to put, say you have an Amazon S3 account, or somewhere on your website, maybe in another folder, another website altogether, you have your image that you've uploaded. You can actually just put the link directly to that image, and it will pull from that website or from your Amazon S3 account. Okay, as long as you make that public. All right, so that pretty much concludes our general site settings. What we're going to do at this point is go ahead and hit the Save Settings button, and this should go ahead and save our settings. Now, if we went back to our squeeze page front page, which is this one right here, and we refresh this, you're not going to see really any changes because the changes that you've made are not going to be displayed or visible on the front. However, if you actually looked at the metadata, if you click the source code, which, let me see if this actually, I'm in Internet Explorer, it doesn't really work so well that way. But if you're in Firefox, you can actually view source, and you'll see that it's actually changed the metadata to the squeeze page that we're in. Okay? So anyway, once you've saved that, it takes you back to your home page here, so don't get freaked out when you see that. And hopefully you guys, all your questions were answered for the general site settings. And just another recommendation, and to remember this, anytime that you might have forgotten what this video was all about or how to make some changes to your squeeze page, at the top right hand corner of each of the different sections, you click on this button that says watch training video, and we'll actually pull up a light box and it'll play the training video that we went through. Okay, so if you ever get lost, you ever forget about maybe some tips or tricks that you can use, just click that watch training video button, or you can log into the Squeeze Pages membership area where you actually downloaded it in the dashboard, and you'll be able to go ahead and watch the videos there as well. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.